What's so hard about standing for the national anthem? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about U.S. Olympic hammer thrower Gwen Berry protesting the U.S. national anthem over in Eugene, Oregon during the trials to go to the Summer Olympics, which will be held in Tokyo, Japan, starting in August. Now, there's so much here. There's so much to quote unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say. I'm not really sure where to begin. I'll tell you one thing. Before we even go down the rabbit hole, there is a history here. There is a pattern here. And in my humble opinion, there is an ulterior motive. But before we do that, let's go back a little bit and let me explain what's happening just so we're on the same page with each other and you understand what's going on. Now, like I said, Gwen Berry is a hammer thrower. And if you've not seen that sport before, I'll place it on the screen before you just so you understand what that is. Now, the trials offer you the ability to get a medal. This is not the Olympics yet, but you do get a medal, depending upon where you place. And I think the way it works is if you place gold, silver, bronze, you get a ticket to the Olympics. If you don't, then you don't. So Gwen Berry got a bronze medal, and she went out there with the other two young ladies to accept a medal. Now, it just so happened that the national anthem was playing at the same time they went out there. The national anthem did not play just for them or just for the ceremony at all, because every night during the trials out there in Eugene, Oregon, at 5:20 p.m., the national anthem plays to kick off the evening session. So the anthem was not for them, but it was playing when they went out there. So two young ladies that were getting their medals, the gold and silver, they got the hand over their heart. They're facing the flag, as you should, right? As an American citizen, especially. Even people that are not American do that. I saw Usain Bolt hold his hand over his heart, and he is Jamaican, which is not the U.S., obviously. Anyway, when this happens, Gwen Berry shifts. She turns away from the flag, and faces a different direction. She's looking kind of, irritated, angry in the face. And then she eventually pulls this shirt out that says activist athlete or athlete activist, whatever sequence the words when it doesn't really matter. But she pulls that shirt out, holds it up, and then puts it over her head. Gwen Berry has spoken about what happened. She said she believes she was set up. They know she's not for the national anthem. They know that she's a SJW. They know that she's out there fighting for quote unquote racial justice, all this, that, and the third, against police brutality. So they set her up. Oh, like I said, they always play the anthem at the same time every day. So it wasn't even about her at all. And nobody really saw it until the pictures hit the media. And I think that is the purpose. Gwen Berry has a history of doing this. There's a whole article on New York Times, and I'll link to that in the description box, where they helped her write about her activism, and there's a video that goes with it. And in that video, she says that the national anthem, liberty, justice for all, is not for black people. And don't take my word for it. Listen to her say it for herself.
I knew that the national anthem did not speak for people like me in America. The freedom, liberty, and justice for all, it is not for black people.
So, you heard that straight from her. This is what's going on. She's trying to get a lot of attention for being a quote unquote activist on social justice issues. That's what's going on. No, this whole thing, it wasn't just a fluke. It wasn't a one-off. You got a whole article, you're producing videos, you've done multiple stunts. This is just what it is. Now, the stunt she pulled before was in 2019, 2 years ago, at the Pan American Games. Now, she won a gold medal in those games. And when she won her medal, during the national anthem, again, she raised her fist.
Hammer throw gold medalist Gwen Berry raised her fist.
Raising her fist. Raised a fist to protest social injustice.
Kind of like Tommy Smith and John Carlos did back in the day, where they had the black leather gloves. This might have been in the 60s or 70s, not really sure when it was. But she was modeling what she did after them. So it was thought out, it was planned, it was a whole, it was a whole thing. Now, I don't know if she's like really involved in the SJW life, if she really is trying to be a champion, if it's for attention or what. You know, I see her on social media, of course, talking about, oh, well, the comments against me, that shows that the affirmations of Black Lives Matter are a scam and you guys care more about the flag than Black lives and stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing, but I placed it on the screen so you can see what she wrote for yourself. Either way it goes, I think she's trying to get some attention for this whole thing. And people are, I don't want to say divided, but there's different opinions about what she did. Some say, you go girl, right on, you did the right thing. Don't let these racist whites tell you any different. Some say that, and then some say, come on, stand for the flag. How hard can it be? Stop with the nonsense. Represent the United States, but yet you shy away from the anthem like you're embarrassed of it, like it doesn't represent you. And she said it's not for Black people. She said that out of her own mouth. I didn't make it up. You saw it with your own two eyes, heard it with your own two ears. Okay? So people don't like that. How are you going to be a U.S. athlete and hate the anthem? And then some say, well, she has a freedom to do that, right? She has a freedom. Well, yes, she does. As far as, you know, being in the U.S., you got freedom of speech. But see, that freedom goes two ways, don't it? Now, if she has a freedom to do that and to protest against the national anthem, then I have the freedom to protest against her, to not like what she did. That's my right as it is her right. People say that all the time. Oh, why are you getting mad, ABL? Freedom of speech, man. Freedom of speech. All right. She got the freedom of speech. I'm not saying she need to get put in the gulag, big rocks, little rocks. No, because that's all freedom of speech really means. You can't get locked up for saying something that's controversial for the most part. Fire in the theater, that's one thing. But if you just say that the national anthem is racist or something like that, you can't get locked up for that. That's your opinion. And I have the right to disagree with your opinion, right? Now, you go to certain countries where you don't have those kind of rights. North Korea, try talking about Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il, any of these Kim Jongs in a weird way. You're going to find yourself missing. Your family won't see you no more the rest of your life. You be in some kind of work camp. You be buried underground. That's pretty much how they carry you overseas, where you have no freedom of speech. Over here, you do have that. But like I said, it goes both ways. If you say something I don't like, that's your right. But I have the right to not like what you said and to say something. That's just how it is. Now, as far as the Olympics, what are they going to do? Well, I think the IOC, that's the International Olympic Committee, they said they won't protest. They say they won't punish anybody that is protesting during the trials. But if you go to Tokyo, Japan and do something like that, now you got a different issue. They will enforce the no protesting, no political statements, things like that. They're going to enforce that in Tokyo. But as far as being over here in the States, Eugene, Oregon, or whatever, where the trials are happening, you could do pretty much whatever you want. Now, I think the U.S. committee said that they won't punish anybody that does something that may violate the IOC rules in Japan. So I'm not sure how that will work. Okay, if you get punished by the IOC, what's going to happen with that? What's going to be the thing? Will your medals get stripped from you? Not really sure how it goes. And I don't know if the U.S. committee has any jurisdiction over the IOC to override any kind of punishment that may come as a result of you out there protesting. But as I close, I want to say this. I believe the whole thing was planned. She's talking about, oh, they set me up and I didn't want it to happen. Okay, so where does activist t-shirt come from? Where that shirt come from if you just were blindsided and they set you up, all this and that? So who gave you that activist t-shirt? Where did that come from? You just had that in your back pocket? Really? Is that what's going on? I mean, let's stop playing the games. I feel like a lot of these people, a lot of these athletes, they're trying to get more into activism because they see that as an escape route. Because if you are a hammer thrower, what professional opportunities do you have to make any kind of a career out of that? Okay, the Olympics, that's what, every 4 years? You go to these little games in between the Olympics, but what are you going to be able to do as far as a career beyond the hammer throw? So it could just be an exit ramp to get money, try to be like Colin Kaepernick and some of these other guys that got into this whole activist wave. People talk about me. They say, hey, you just trying to cater for the white man on the right, although there are just as many white folks on the left, but that's a different story, and I digress. They say I'm just trying to be conservative because I'm trying to get some money and I'm a grifter or whatever. Meanwhile, the actual big bags, the big bags of corrupt political money are on the left. Like I've said before, Black Lives Matter raised $10.6 billion. Well, BLM and BLM style groups, $10.6 billion in 6 months in 2020 after George Floyd died in Minneapolis at the hands allegedly of Derek Chauvin. 10.6 billion. That's more than any of the conservative groups combined, and probably a few fold. The big bags on the left. I think she's trying to go over there and get some of that big bag on the left. That's just my opinion. I don't know her. Never met her before, never talked to her, never interviewed her. That's just kind of what I'm seeing. And I see this same kind of thing happening over and over again. And also, one last thing before I close, wrap it on up. I think there could be some peer pressure, because now it's like if you're a black athlete and you're around other black athletes and they're on this whole woke SJW type stuff, and you don't do it at all times when you're on the podium, when you're on television, when you're on social media, if you don't do it at all times, then you're not part of that social group anymore. You're kind of excommunicated because you're not doing what's right. You're not what they call, quote unquote, being on code. That could be part of it as well. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what Gwen Berry did as far as the national anthem protest? Was it right? Was it wrong? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I think people like this are ridiculous. It's embarrassing, really, because you're representing the U.S., right? And you hate the anthem. You shine away from it. You're trying to hide from your own country's anthem. That's ridiculous for someone to represent the United States doing that. That is totally embarrassing, ridiculous. You know, and that's the main thing, how embarrassing it is for the whole world to see. And if you don't like the anthem, if you don't like the country, then it's like, why are you even here? Defect, go somewhere else. I don't really understand. That's what I always say. If you don't like the country, you are free to leave. Nobody's holding you hostage. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.